Chase a check, not a bitch secure the bag. All the racks. What's going on? It's your boy All Star Izzy. What's happening with everybody? Listen, I'm gonna be on here for about a good 30 to 40 minutes. I need to have a conversation with every single person that's gonna be here that's tuning in. And if you're not tuning in, guess what? Hit that replay and really take in some gems I'm gonna be talking about. I was gonna talk about this last night when I was on live, but then there was other things that we needed to discuss rather than the things that I wanted to say, and I found it to be, more of a focus when I'm here in the afternoon. So shout out to everybody. It's your boy All Star Izzy. We're gonna be chopping up the game. We're gonna be speaking on it. Marie, what's up with it? Jared, my dog, what's up with it? What's happening? How you feeling? What's up? Oh, what's good? What's happening? What's happening? But we're gonna be chopping this shit up in a second because I don't got too much time. I'm only gonna be on here for like 30 minutes, so you already know. We got to get straight into it. Basically, great to see everybody. Good. I'm glad that you're great, man. Good to see you. Good to know that you're great. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to everybody. We in the building. It's your boy All Star Izzy. Listen, yo, hey, hold on. Give me a second though. So basically, today what I'm gonna be speaking about is the game. And whether people know what the game is or what's not. I'm gonna go ahead and make sure that I speak on it. Cause I had an enlightenment the other night. Basically, just how things come in full circle. It really happened for me. I was shout out to the Game Kings first and foremost. For the game that they spit. But as I've been learning myself in the game, and how, let me know if you guys know what I'm talking about when people are like the game has changed. Like people are like, oh, the game has changed. Everything is different now. Like the times are different, or women are different, or things are different because of the way evolution is going, or like technology. Let me know if you know exactly what I'm talking about, because it's gonna be very important moving forward. I'll be riding in that Jag hole, couple. Yeah. Okay, so boom. So basically, and this is what I wrote down, because I'm a nerd, so like I be writing shit down all the time. But when people say the game has changed, that means that they're flexible and they change with the times. Because the thing is, when there's a lot of, even I say it myself, but there's a lot of people around that when they spit real game or speak real knowledge, it's because the game is within you. The game isn't outside of you. That's the beauty of this all. People think that the game is like talking to women and getting women, trying to smash women on the first night. People think the game is having to be manipulative and be strategic and try to get one up on people. That's not the game. Now, here's the thing. Real odds and evens, great to see you. The thing is that you can still learn how to navigate yourself in the world, because everybody at the end of the day has a persona some way, somehow. But that's not what I'm really getting into. If people really believe that the game has changed, the whole point of it all is to really say that they are willing to move who they are inwardly for what's happening outside in the world. Like, for instance, I would see a lot of debates or arguments that happen with like older people. Like people are talking to like older people, like OGs and shit. They're like, well, back then women weren't hoes like that. Women weren't doing the things that women are doing now. Okay. The only way I can say that's true is because of social media and technology. That could be the only reason. But back then, because I speak to a lot of them and I've heard a lot of things too. I'm only like in my 20s, but still, women were still doing the same thing. They just weren't doing it with the technology and social media. So the only thing that has changed is the technology and the environment of the atmosphere of life. But check me out though, right? Because the game isn't the world. The game is you. So that means you can still evolve with the times, but that doesn't mean you gotta bend or break your back backwards just for what's happening outside of the world. So when people are like, the game has changed, that's complete BS. Because it hasn't. Because it's the same analogy of, it's not about the car, it's about the person that's in it, right? Because it was never about the materialistic shit. It was always about the individual who was inside. And when you can come to terms about that, you can actually see that, damn, this world is, I can still be in this world and of the world, but that doesn't mean that I have to change for it, because the game is always internal. That's why the thing is like, you can put me into, I was talking about this shit last night. I was like, and I have done this. I went to clubs, I went to bars, I went to all that. I went out straight out for work. Yeah, it just happened. I went right after work, and when I went right after work, I was still pulling, I was still doing what I did. Like I was still having it. But the thing is, because the what's within the soul, the spirit, your confidence never changes no matter where you go. You are with you everywhere you go. People try to abandon that when they're thinking about the game and how to adapt to it. Listen, it's different. Yeah, you can adapt to the circumstances and to the weather. Does that change who you are? No, but adaptability is important in the game because what is part of the game, but knowing yourself is the awareness and knowing when to pivot. Are you just gonna wear a sweater when it's hot as fuck? No. But just because you put on a tank top and it's hot and does that mean that the game has changed? No, you still are who you are. The foundation is still the same within. Let me look at these comments really quickly. Good to know. Yup. Real Us says good point. They know it's changed, but don't do the work for some reason. It's very true. A lot of people don't want to do the work because it is genuine work, bro. Lucario said it best because there was something that he was saying that stuck with me, but it was just that, and it's just annoying in general. But there's no way around this shit. To genuinely evolve and to become that guy, to become him, to be, you know what I'm saying, to get yourself right, to talk to all these girls and be smooth, charismatic, and confident. You know that comes with you having to put actual work in. That doesn't come with you just thinking that you can do it because most people are trying to adapt with the times. Don't adapt with the times. Do not adapt with the times, inwardly and outwardly. Like outwardly, there's some things you can know how to maneuver. You can work technology, social media better. But the thing is, what I'm getting at is that with the time goes, the time is flexible. I see the comments. I'm gonna get to it in a second. But the times are just gonna happen. Trends are just gonna happen. It's always gonna keep fluctuating in and out. It's like the ocean. The waves come, the waves come, the waves come, the waves come. But what remains is the ocean itself. Like the ocean creates the waves, right? It creates the tides, whatever is happening. But everything is still the same because the foundation has never changed. It only keeps learning. Now with technology, now they're catfishing. Yeah, all that too. And even men are catfishing. Some men are playing as women, some women are playing as men. It's crazy. So that's the thing that, we can talk about, but in general, the game hasn't changed though. Like how things are maneuvered. Even last night, I was talking about we were talking about like high school heartbreaks and shit like that, and just like little middle school learnings and things that we did when we were younger. When I was thinking about that, you know how I remember I had a high school heartbreak, and this is going to correlate to everything. Remember, everything is a constellation, but I had a high school heartbreak, but basically in there, when she cheated on me with like the bad boys, the guy, the jocks, all them type of folks, right? But the thing about it wasn't that it's not a bad thing that it happened. Of course, I've learned from it, but what happened was that when I looked at society afterwards, like in college or even into like adulthood, there's still those same stereotypes of people, right? Of people who are always focusing on like, there's these type of people that's out here that's occurring like this. They're like, oh, but like guys will say this about women. Oh, she's gonna end up with a guy who's athletic and who has more money or who's the bad boy. You know what I'm saying? So that same pattern from like middle school and high school is still happening in college and adulthood. But that just shows you that the game doesn't change though. Like, yes, it can evolve into different levels, but the game for yourself of who you are, like the knowing, the knowledge of you and experience, it never changes. And my mind was blasted. Hold on, let me look at this stuff. UAVT video game team, what's up? Good to see you. Great to see you. You should definitely stop by and probably come into my later lives because we're not doing jokes right now, but I appreciate your comment. Fortnite Battle Pass, what's up? Great to see you. Diamond in the Sticks. Much shout out to Diamond in the Sticks because Diamond did gift me something this week and I was very grateful for it. Intuitive Me, great to see you. Twin, what's up? Thank you for saying that, Marie. I appreciate it. I'm going to go ahead and pin that and let people know. Damo, what's happening, man? Great to see you, man. We definitely got to run that. Hunter, great to see you. Yes, I do remember you, Hunter. Great. Welcome back. Shout out to everybody. Make sure you hit the like button or subscribe if you're new. But I'm going to read off my notes because remember, I am a nerd when it comes to this. But this is what I'm saying, though, just in general. Like, I genuinely understand. And if you don't understand, ask the question of what it means. Did the game really change? Because game was never about the world. The game is about you and your world and what happens in it, right? So this is something that I read that I talked about that. Okay, I did say everywhere you are with you everywhere you go, like because it's not about the car, it's about the player that's in it. And I also mentioned that this is why authenticity comes in, because you never bend yourself for anyone or anything. This doesn't take you away from learning different things about other cultures. Because I find that people are trying to make arguments about, well, what happens if you try to change for the weather or you try to adapt to the culture? Are you changing yourself for the game? The game was never about the culture. The game is about you and you in it. G-Man, what's up with it? But that's the thing. So anybody that says the game has changed, or like women are more crazier, men are like this now, everything is just was exactly what it was. It's just that the world is offering more opportunities to do those things. People are like, oh, these women are getting the attention, do this, and they're getting all this attention on social media, flood DMs. The game has changed. First of all, that's not the game. And two, as a man, you shouldn't care about that. I don't care about her DMs. I don't care about who's in it, because it was never about who's in it. You gotta have that mindset of inside to within. I'm gonna be the person who's gonna get that lady because she's gonna be glad to be with me. But that's game right there. But also, let's even take it away from dating. Let's take it in business, right? Because people are okay. One thing that I talked about before was that being charisma is basically like the new path of the way, right? Because before, like a couple years, like decades ago, maybe it was more so about hard work. Let me know if you in tune with me. Let me know if you're listening, if you get what I'm saying. A lot of the stuff was about hard work, working hard, breaking your bones, working all night and being tired, but still having to do it again, right? Hard work was basically getting you in the door. Now it's more so about the charisma and the charm about the person that's happening, right? How do I make them feel? How am I getting into their emotions? How am I looking? How am I presenting? How am I being? How am I, affecting them? So that's what so with that being said, I've notated that down to let people know that charisma is going to be, it is now and it has been, but it's also going to be a huge thing going forward. Because now, to me, I don't know what y'all see, but I see a lot more like people want to be connecting more in human terms. Like people just want to connect in general. But that's the thing. Even though we can learn that, okay, charisma could be the new path to the blueprint in the future and to right now, that still doesn't take away that the game hasn't changed. Because there's still morals and there's still beliefs and there's still standards that you should have to stick on to who you are. Because most people, they want to change with it. See, this is why chameleons, manipulators, like all them all them type of people are basically the people whoever says the game has changed, those are those type of people. They're willing to change who they are inwardly, abandon themselves for something new that they see as a trend. But this is Deedon, great to see you. Let me see this exactly. Okay, for sure. Yes, I've been told that a lot. Yeah. Okay, cool. Good, you guys agree. But anyways, the thing is that people abandon who they are for a trend, right? But this is the thing is this is happening every single day. Like there's people that's following trends just to be a part of it, to be seen as like they're part of that shit. Like, but here's the thing. That's why the shit genuinely never changes if you actually look at it from a bird's eye perspective. This shit has been going on in school where people try to look popular, people try to be popular. I even spoke on the times where I tried to be in ISS because I wanted my crush to see me look like a bad boy, right? I was doing it for the look. I was abandoning what I really was doing, right? But that even goes forward with just a lot of people trying to follow trends just to follow trends. Now, it's nothing wrong with capitalizing on the trend and putting your own spin on it. We all do that. If you're a creator, if you're someone who wants to be seen on there, that's what's going to happen. But you're not abandoning yourself because you have self-awareness to say, okay, hold on. I see this trend. I'm gonna hop on it and create my own spin on it so I can get some people to come to my vicinity as well. And there's nothing completely wrong with that. By the way, my name is All-Star Izzy. Hit the like button if you have not subscribed. If you're new, we on the road to the top. Anyways, going into this because I only have about like 30 minutes to be honest with this whole live, but I had to come on here and really speak on this because this was very important for me in the enlightenment that I had about it. Because I'm like, it just makes sense. A lot of the people that I've had conversations like growing up and stuff, they will always tell me, even if I'm in different circumstances, different environments, I'm with different women. Like I remember this guy I was on a date with a lady at the time and I seen this guy. I met him like years ago, but we seen each other again. He was like, damn, bro, like you still the same, but not in a bad way. Like you're still authentic. You're still, up, you're positive. You're still optimistic. I'm like, yeah, I appreciate it. But that stuck with me. And I thought about that shit last night too, when I had that thought, because I was like, that's why I always talk about authenticity is the new sexy, okay? Because often you have authenticity is what game is within yourself. Because you can be in different environments, but you can still be who you are, and you can still display that. But that's game. Meaning to say, because you don't have to bend the rules, or you don't have to break your own rules for you just to be seen as in a popular crew, or to be seen like, let me look like some type of way, let me look like I'm in the spotlight. That shit is important, because more, and the thing, I mean, it's happening everywhere, but people are breaking their own personalities, breaking their own morals, breaking their own voices for things that they believe that is greater than them. You see, that's what the game teaches you too, because that's knowledge for yourself. This doesn't mean that we're just this super superior being and over everybody, like that don't mean none of that. But what it means is that I'm gonna stick to what I know, to what's best for me, and I'm not gonna abandon myself for views and shit like that. And it doesn't have to necessarily mean for anything just on social media. Don't sacrifice, exactly, right? Because some people try to trick themselves and being like, let me do this for the greater good. It's not a greater good, bro. You're abandoning yourself. And the thing a lot of people don't know is who they are, and a lot of people are running away from what game truly is. You know, there's a lot of people that know, and I'm grateful for that. But there's a lot of people that don't know that the game is not the world. The game is not talking to women. The game is not how to get on the first night. The game isn't about succeeding into a business. Can this help? Yes, it can. As you know who you are within, because I like to say, as within, so without. To shine within, to shine without. But that's like the whole thing of it all. There is no such thing as the game has changed, because the game has always remained the same. Never forget that. Like that, and you, it may not really seek into you the way that it had, and because of how serious it really is, but it will. Trust me, it's going to get, like, if you don't truly understand it, it's going to hit you, and you're going to be thinking into a crazy way, because the bird's eye perspective, seeing things how they really are. Like, I made the high school analogies about this shit, and I was like, when I even thought about that shit last night, my mind was blown, because I'm like, wait, like, everything is just repeating. And the thing that really stands out is people who has game within themselves and people who are authentic. Those people truly make the waves, right? Now, there's waves that happen, and I shout out to those, but if you want to innovate something in this life, in this lifetime, every single day in different ways, you got to be able to not follow the path that is glorified as much. You can still put your spin on it. Now, I'm not taking that away. I'm just saying, though, to truly make an impact, and to be authentic, and to show people that this is who I am, you gotta hone in onto what you want, and not abandon yourself because of a trend or for some things, or not abandoning yourself because something is shining gold. Just because it's shining gold doesn't mean it's good. You know what I mean? Like, you may, okay, let me find this way, let me follow this path. Whole time it's really not that best for you. Whole time you're thinking to yourself, this is kind of weird, but I'm gonna still follow it because, you know, whatever. That doesn't mean don't take up any mentorship, because I definitely believe in that. Definitely have a mentor. But a mentor, you know, that's gonna guide you through things, is gonna take you to different places. You know, mentally, emotionally, physically, you're going out to see different stuff so you can learn different things, but it has to be somebody who's on a similar path for you, bro. The game don't change. I don't care what no one says. I don't care how much technology a lady has. That doesn't mean nothing compared to what we are when we're in person. Like, connections that people create on social media is nothing compared to connections that are in real life, right? There can be a lot of people that have certain standards on social media, and they talk this good game, but then when you meet them in person, they're kind of like a little pup. You know what I mean? It's just like, it doesn't go cold hand in hand. But the thing is too, there's a secret language in this shit, because it's really if you know, you know. And I'm breaking some rules by even low-key talking about it, because, you know, it's not a lot of people really understand it. Diamond says, great, big facts. Exactly. It's always best to be yourself, be a leader, not a follower, be your own, and you will attract more. Green Plan, what's up with it? Great to see you. What's up? What's up? Yeah, I did come up a different time, but I'm not going to be here for too long. The more intuitive me says, some put on the show, online, or performance. Exactly. And one thing that I speak on a lot heavy is being the performative versus being a natural, right? But the thing is too, when you're a natural, still work the muscle to become a performer, right? Not to say that you have to be performer all the single time, but you got to be able to still, you know, iron sharpens iron. You still got to be able to wield your sword, but better. But that comes with evolution. That's why evolution is incredibly important. Like last night, I was having a conversation with one of my viewers, and he was, before a lot of you guys may have even knew me or followed me, subscribe. My name was We Are Evolution, because that's what we are. That's what life is. That's what I am, and that's what everything is. Like, everything is just evolution, but it evolved to All-Star Izzy. Stars were always a thing of mine, but still, I was just talking about the importance of why evolution is very important to those people, because it shows just because who I am today is gonna be different in a week. You know what I mean? But that doesn't mean like I'm gonna completely be different in the sense like, oh my God, I'm gonna be like a whole different personality. No, it's just that there's always an opportunity to evolve. There's always an opportunity to create. There's always an opportunity to want more for yourself. And that's exactly what I'm on. Hold on, give me a second. You came to the time. Yeah. Marie says, I like you already. Yeah, subscribe to this guy right now. Green Plane, you the one. I appreciate you. I'm gonna go ahead and put that right there. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to y'all. But anyways, just that really I had to really talk on that though, because when with the times I used to be homeless, the times where I didn't have a lot of the like clothes, I didn't have the like I wasn't able to get haircuts like that. I didn't have cars like that, or if I had a car, it wasn't the best. Like one thing that I'm grateful to say, and I can like check me out, y'all, and I hope people really resonate with this part. But it's like when having that, there was times where yeah, I felt like damn, I wish I had more so I can like so that I can be a little bit less embarrassed. There's people around, but even when I had those moments, there was a thought that came in that was just like, well, it doesn't matter if we don't have this right now. We have each other, meaning like I have myself. And that's what I talk about when it comes to like undeniable trust and confidence. That's my confidence, is trusting me. Like I gotta have my own back in these situations. So that is what translated for more connection, me being able to be with women, or me being able to make connections, dap people up, not having to pay. Like it was just those moments, and still not having to be embarrassed of what I didn't have. It showed very important parts of myself. But even when I reflected on that, but that's game, because it's not about what I have, it's about who I am, no matter where I go. And that goes for anybody. And I have this quote that I remember. It was like 2019 when I created it. I don't know if I heard it, but I'm gonna just say I created it until I get the memory back if I heard it. Anyways, but it was basically don't adapt to the environment, influence the environment. See, game is influential. Authenticity is influential, but it's not trying to be influential. It just is influential, because being authentic and you, effortless, natural, already has its own influence in that. Like people are thinking to themselves, like, damn, I should like the way they display their personality, not even for me, but for anybody. Oh, the way that they carry themselves, that's influential. I want to learn that. I'm inspired by that. Certain things like that. But a lot of the times, and I'm getting a lot better with just materialistic stuff on my end. But in general, I was grateful that I was able to not have a lot, because me not having a lot translated to me having to look within first. The home was already here, and that goes for anybody. People abandon themselves every day. People are abandoning themselves for sex. People are abandoning themselves for money. People are abandoning themselves for power. People are abandoning themselves to look cool, look good. Right? Last night I talked about why look good when you can be good. But then why not look good and be good together? That's a star. By the way, hit the like button if you have not. It's your boy, I'll start Izzy. Let me look at these comments really quickly. We're always going mentally, spiritually for the better. Yeah. Green Plane says, boy, hold up. I always say this, and I will say it again. You are such a positive energy. I bet whenever you walk in a room, people feel you are the light to the room. Your style is so good. I appreciate you. Thank you. One can only, I hope so, But thank you. I'm very grateful for that. I appreciate you. Another thing too, is just that, but seeing and reflecting on how in different environments, in different places, I never changed because of it, right? I've never changed for them. I've never tried to get into groups. I've never tried to get into places. I don't have to try. Like I'd rather just create my own. But again, like creating your own in your own world attracts other people as well. And it's a beautiful thing. The thing is too though, me not trying to get into different places or communities show that he doesn't have to try to do things. When you can stand on your own 2 feet, that's the whole thing. Cause everybody has something, and I'm actually about to make this full circle to this thing I said last night too. Because everybody is either you stand alone or you stand with a group. And there's nothing wrong with standing with a group unless that's either something. I advise you curate a group for yourself. Like curate that shit. or this very like-minded individuals, and it is a group, but it's not like you're still standalone. But there was something that I said last night in my live, and something that I really thought about. I was on the treadmill, incline 12. You already know I was hiking up a mountain, but something I realized, and I want to say shout out to Coach EO because he said this shit, and this shit really it blasted my mind because I talk a lot about freedom in dating, freedom in yourself, freedom in choices, decision, consequences that come with it. But one of the biggest things that I learned with freedom is that a lot of people say they want freedom, but they don't want freedom though. And here's the reason: because freedom requires you to be your own leader, and most people don't want to self-govern themselves. Most people don't want to lead themselves. They don't want to have to stand alone on 2 feet. They don't want to feel the embarrassment they may have. They don't want to feel the rejections that may happen. They don't want to feel like they're alone and there's no one else around. There's people around, but that doesn't mean that you have to be alone. Freedom requires people. See, if people think freedom is about being chaotic and all over the place, that is completely wrong. Freedom truly means you are self-governing yourself. You know, it's amazing because there's always two sides to the coin. You know, freedom, yeah, you're free, but just because you're free, you're still tied to decisions, decision making, financial decisions, house creations, entrepreneurship, CEO. You're going to have to do everything and put in the work, and that even goes inside when I talk about game, because there's freedom in game for yourself, right? But I love this shit. But having to say that the game has changed with the worlds and moving with the times and shit like that, is what that says to me is that you're a follower and you don't want to look inside yourself. Like see, the thing is, people want followers. Like, people say they want free, and this is what he said. Shout out Coach EO again. But this is what he said. He said people want followers. People want freedom until they get freedom, and now they want to find a leader. Do you see what I'm like? But that's the real shit, and that's something I've seen a lot in my life. That's clients that I've spoken to. With no shade to none of them, because they know exactly where I stand with certain things. This is people that I spoke to real life over social media. People, okay, if you follow the trends, if you abandon yourself for things outside of you, if you think the game has changed, what you're doing is saying is you're a follower, and you probably don't even know that you're following shit. You may think that this is correct. You may think that this is right for you. But if you don't have any curiosity to question things, which you should always question stuff. Because even last night I was talking about how in school I was always a curious cat. I was always questioning the status quo. Like, I've always just questioned shit. If you can't question the things that's happening and being like, well, why is this happening? Or why does this have to be? Why does the game have to change? Or you're going to end up becoming a follower whether you know it or not. And the thing is, too, a lot of people that I know are only becoming followers because that's all they know how to do. If you look within and you question the things that's around you, yourself most importantly, you will become a leader. Because the one thing leaders do that followers don't is question, is curious. They learn themselves. They learn within, as within, so without. They're not looking at the world for answers. I'm the answer because there's answers within me already. Can answers occur outside the world? Yeah, things can come together. Everything's a constellation. Never forget that. Mentors come outside of the world, but there's always the hidden answers are always within. You're the answer, and the answer can even be like, what should I do in this situation? I don't know. Just act on it. Act on it. You never know what's gonna come out. Which came to the answer because you acted on it, because you did something about it. That's all I'm saying, bro. Regardless, again, the game has never changed. Okay, does the time change? Does life change? Yes, it changes. The seasons show you that changes. Nature shows you that it changes. But the one thing that never changed is the foundation, though. There's so much game in that. Because, see, you just got to see things for what they are, basically, and see them from a different perspective. And I'm not even trying to get too, like, in this, like, super spiritual bag, but shit do be spiritual. But it's mainly just to say that anybody who says that the game has changes, they're lying to themselves. Or, you know what, if you're not lying to yourself, you need to do some more. Just look at things. I hope, like, this planting seeds, though, because I just want you to look at things. Look at yourself. Look at within. Like, look at things. Or even question, why do you think the game has changed? And in the future, I probably will be getting in a debate with an individual who believes that the game has changed. You know what I mean? But I want that. So then we can have a real conversation about it, because it doesn't change. I don't change for the world, right? I don't change for the world. I don't adapt to this world. I hone in on myself, and then everything else comes with that. Whether it does, I'm focused on building myself in my world, as should everybody be. Intuitive says everything you need to know is within yourself. It very much is. But listen, everybody, that's going to be my time for today. I only wanted to come in on here for about 30 minutes to speak on this. I wanted to get this off my chest and really speak on this, because the game hasn't changed, and it never will. Because when you see that you are the game and you are the thing already, that's the source. That's the source within. You will understand that, okay, everything always in life, nature itself always has a natural order. Even humans, life and death, right? There's still always a natural order. There's still rules of the shit. But just because there's rules to the shit doesn't mean that I need to keep continuing to change myself within for the things outside. It's different to change yourself for what the weather is. That's one thing. Putting on a certain or a uniform, going to company, having to wear a certain hat. Like, is that changing who you are just because you're having to do what you need to do at the time? No, do what you need to do. But if you stand with who you are, it will never change outside. Ephraim, great to see you. That's going to be the end. Let's get some stars in the chat. It's your boy, All-Star Izzy. Shout out to everybody. Thank you for stopping by. I wanted to come by and speak on that, and why freedom is so important, and why there's the polarity to the yin and yang. There's polarity to everything. Just open your eyes to that. But there's polarity to the freedom, because to set you free is to also have shackles of discipline and certain things that you got to really realize for yourself. That's just how it goes. This is what it is. Shout out to everybody. That's going to be my time. It's All-Star Izzy. Remember to shine within, to shine without. And authenticity is the new sexy. We out this thing. Peace.